Rams and Panthers, first round of the playoffs. Let's take a look at the Rams 13 personnel package. What is 13? If you use the digit system, 13 is one running back and three tight ends in the game. This can be unique for a number of reasons. The primary reason being most teams do not have three tight ends they trust out there on the field at any one time. The Rams are using this 13 personnel package to run base offensive plays that everybody runs. They're just dressing them up differently with all these tight ends in the game and the formations they're able to use. Right here, they're going to run duo, a strong side double team run. Let's start with this weak side tight end. If he was a split-out receiver, and we were in some other personnel group, if he was a split-out receiver, his responsibility against a too-high defense like this, too high safeties, his responsibility would become and cut out this weak side safety. Since he's attached, he's going to take a quick jab at this defensive end to slow him down, and then he's going to work up to that same spot, block that weak side safety. On the backside of this under front, the tackle is going to block out on the defensive end, and the guard is going to block out on this defensive tackle. The ball is going to hit a gap out, or is supposed to hit a gap out on the front side, so these guys are just blocking out on the weak side. Center and guard working a double team, an ace block to the Will. There's the Will, there's the Mike, there's the Sam. S for strong side, M for middle, W for weak side. Ace block to that Will, front side tackle and tight end working a tray block up to the Mike. Now, some teams will call it a tray. Some teams will call this a tram. Typically, a tray block goes back to the Will, and so if you want to add an extra term, you can call this a tram, tray block to the Mike. TR for tray, M for Mike, tram. Pretty clever, right? So here they're working a tram up to the Mike. This third tight end in the game, he is just replacing the fullback. He's no different than a fullback lined up in the backfield. His job is to block the Sam. He's one-on-one with him. The back is going to take this ball. He's going to hit it downhill. He's going to read it a gap out. They're going to read the Mike. If the Mike plugs that A gap, he's going to bounce. And if the Mike plays over the top, he should hit it downhill in what should be an open gap. You'll see they're going to bring Nacua from outside in, insert him up for the strong side safety. Receiver on this side responsible for the most dangerous man, the corner or the safety. Who is most likely to show up against the run first would be the most dangerous man. And you're seeing a lot of this in the NFL right now, guys motioning down, inserting inside. The reason being, you're getting a lot of defenders lined up on the line of scrimmage outside in a 9 technique or a wider, anything wider than the widest tight end, 9, 10, 11, 12 technique, whatever you want to call it. Outside linebacker, defensive end, lined up out there can make it very hard for a receiver to get an angle on anybody who's hitting it quickly downhill inside of this guy. The reason being, you've got to get through his body to get to this body. So you're seeing a lot of teams motioning down, inserting to get on those blocks so they can avoid the traffic created by the man on the line of scrimmage. Right here, handoff downhill, Mike plugs the A gap, back sees it, bounces it outside. Right there, duo. Another rep of duo. Last time we saw them take Nacua, motion him from outside in for the insert. Exact same thing, just bringing him across, inserting on the move. Very similar front right here. Another under front, this time a 4-eye on the front side. 4-eye being an inside shade of this offensive tackle. Last time we saw him in a 6, a head-up shade on that tight end. Going to actually make this block a little easier on the front side. Again, tight end jabbing up to the weak side safety. Tackle is out. Guard is out. We've got our ace to that weak side linebacker. We're going to tram to the Mike. F tight end has the Sam, and now Nacua coming across, hitting it on the move. Strong side safety. Here now they're going to just run ISO. They're going to take this tight end, motion him into the backfield. He's going to become the fullback. ISO, named ISO because you isolate your fullback on the Mike linebacker. We'll let him get back there. He's the fullback. We've got Sam, Mike, Will. This is somewhere between an under and a bear front, more bear than under, but this is still how the offense is going to see it. You're going to isolate your fullback on the Mike linebacker, strong side, downhill run. On ISO, your Y tight end, your attached tight end is responsible for the Sam. You'll see they're going to loop this tight end inside to insert on the strong safety. Almost the exact same deal we saw Nakua do on the move, on the motions on the last play. You're going to get a deuce block, a double team between the guard and tackle to the backside linebacker spot to the Will right here. And then with these three guys covered, we're just going to get back from the center, guard, and tackle on those three. Now, interestingly enough, they're running a blitz. Mike hits it downhill. This deuce block, instead of working up to 56, the guard says, hey, this is that blitz we saw in practice. Here comes the Mike. I'm going to take the Mike. I'm going to stay on that defensive end. And the fullback or tight end playing fullback knows, hey, I got to adjust off. They took mine. That double team was working to 56. I've got to take theirs. Good job adjusting, going and getting pads on 56 right there by the tight end playing the fullback spot. Again, ISO. Take a look from behind now. Instead of bringing that tight end from over here and getting him lined up, they're going to start him here in a 3 tight end set and short motion him back into the backfield. Now we've got more of a true under, so we know our attached tight end, his responsibility is the Sam linebacker. Sam, Mike, Will, not a great M right there. We go. All right, the front side tackle, he's got the defensive end. We're isolating the fullback on the Mike. Here we get an ace block, double between the guard and center to that backside Will, out on the weak side. Again, going to insert for the strong safety at this tight end spot here. Now we get a much cleaner look getting up onto that linebacker from the fullback spot. One thing right here, this tight end inserting for that safety, a little indecision. He's got his eyes inside for just a split second. Go get 7 covered up. That's your guy. You don't have somebody else. Might feel color showing up and makes him a little antsy. Go get that safety. Duo and ISO, both strong side runs. Here they're going to go with a weak side run. They're going to short motion Nakua down, make it look like he's inserting like those strong side runs, but instead they're running counter to the weak side. From behind now, since this is counter to the offense's right, this tight end, he becomes the MDM blocker. He has to determine who's most dangerous, corner or the safety. He's going to jab at that defensive end, head into the secondary, get his man covered up. They're going to take this tackle and short pull him out for the end. They've got a bear front, a 4-eye lined up here, a 0 over the nose, and a 4-eye to the front side. The hope is that this short pull takes this 4-eye and influences him out. They're trying to hit this ball into this area right here, right? And if this guy influences out, it's going to be a whole lot bigger hole to run through. So we'll take a look in just a second why that's important. Guard and center going to ace all the way back to the Mike linebacker here. Sam, Mike, Will. The first puller now on any counter, you're leaving 2 guys for your 2 pullers. So the first puller is the guard, and he is pulling. Let's get rid of these lines. He is pulling, and he is going to kick out that 4-eye who is hopefully being influenced out. Again, that widens the hole, right? The second puller is going to be this tight end from off the line of scrimmage. He's coming through. He's got to stay tight to this ace block, and he has number 53, the Will. Tackle and tight end now on the backside of the run. They are responsible for these 2 defenders. They can step down inside, protect the inside gap, and then chuck back out to any threat coming outside of them. Now, they know they've got a 4-eye and a 9. There are no other threats. You're going to see tackle's going to jump that 4-eye. Tight end's going to come out and get that 9 technique blocked. So let's start here with this short pull. They don't get what they want. The 4-eye doesn't react out. Instead of opening the hole, he steps down and compresses the hole. The guard says, oh, that's not how we practiced this play. I just got to drill him one, try to widen this hole. I have to create space. I need to get another puller through the hole, and then the back has to be able to get through there as well. Good job, 95, trying to defeat this block, get over the top of it. Maybe gets just a little bit high, but ultimately more or less a stalemate between those 2 right there. Good play by 95, keeping the hole condensed. Take a look now. This right guard. Take a look at this pushing the hip of this 0 nose. Takes that guy, pushes him a whole half gap over on his way to the Mike. Now, 92 does a great job. Yes, he gets moved initially, but with strength, wins his way back into that front side gap to limit what the Rams are able to get on this play. Good job by the pulling tight end, keeping it tight to the double team's butt. You'll see right there. But ultimately, 95 compressing this hole down, 92 working back over the top, turns this from potentially a good gain into just an average gain. Okay, now they're not all inside runs. Here we're going to get strong side, outside zone. Motion the tight end across, strong side, outside zone. And the offense right here, we've got 8 blockers in the box, right? We've got our 5 linemen, our 3 tight ends, 8. Well, the defense is still playing a 2-high shell right here, so they've got 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers, and they're going to take this receiver, and they're going to crack this strong side safety. So we've got an extra guy on offense, and you'll see from here from here to here, there's a little bit of confusion on who's got who. We're going to end up with both of these lines, both their devils are going to end up working to the same spot. But this is a great look for this play. Move tight end, his responsibility, reach number 52. The static tight end attached. He's going to zone step up, and then he's going to just work vertically because he knows he has whichever linebacker shows up first. So if this guy wants to get to this fast flow perimeter run, he's going to have to come through him. So there's no reason to keep working wide. Go ahead, take your step, work it vertical, build that wall, cut the defense off right here, and let the ball get to the outside. Now, this double team here on the front side, guard and tackle, they're going to zone up. They'll have the second linebacker spot. In this case, it would be 56. Here on the backside, we get an A block. Usually your backside zone blocks, they go by the gap. A gap. Gaps are inside out. A gap, B gap, C gap. So a double team in this A gap between the guard and center would be called an A block. In the B gap, it would be called a B block, C gap, C block, etc. All right, so these two zoning up, and they would be working presumably to somebody, say they probably practice it with another body right there that would be running to him. Maybe they practice with the safety down in the box thinking they were going to get single high, something like that. But you can see right in here, these 4 guys, they all end up working to the same linebacker, number 53. 53 plays it downhill, 56 over the top. Really good patience here by the front side tight end saying, hey, somebody has to come to me. And if nobody does, they're in deep trouble. Nice and patient, gets up on his man. Great crack block by the receiver coming in, dealing one out to the safety. The back rewards him by running square into him, dropping him in his tracks. That happens. Not a lot of space to run. Back's probably saying, hey, sorry, great block. Really appreciate it. I won't run into you next time. Okay, another perimeter run right here. They're going to run jet sweep. Take a look, Nacua getting the handoff, heading to the outside. They're going to have the bare front. Again, a 4-eye right here. We just saw that 4-eye collapse down on that weak side counter. If they're going to do it again, no chance. But Nacua is going to be well past him by the time he reacts and sees what's going on. So this tackle is going to arc up, and his responsibility is this linebacker spot. These 2 tight ends are responsible for this defensive end or Sam linebacker and the corner. So you'll see they're going to zone up. 84 going to come try to get to the outside shoulder of this defensive end linebacker body type, and then next tight end heading up to this corner, going to use his right hand to try to keep this defensive end on 84's body. Now, everybody's in a battle to get their hats outside. The offense wants to get their hats outside so the ball can get all the way to the perimeter. The defense wants to get their hats outside, so they force the ball, they force him to stop his feet and cut back inside. There's 3 guys right here. They know if there's 3 of us over here forcing the ball back inside, that means 8 dudes are running full speed to take his head off from the other side. In an attempt to slow down that pursuit, you'll see everybody from that left guard over running strong side, outside zone, carrying it out, doing a good job of freezing the defense on that side. Well, the Panthers ultimately are able to get their hats outside. They force Nacua to stop his feet, pat his feet, cut it back inside, but still a 4 or 5 yard gain there for the Rams. That's an efficient run. Good job. Now, it's not all run plays. Here's a pass. We're going to get a play action pass. They're going to run a version of deep cross. We got the go route. I believe this is a version of deep cross. Go route by this tight end. Deep over. The crossing route by this tight end and the in cut by Nacua on the backside. They're in a version of 7-man pass pro. Act protection, what we used to call it. A lot of different things. Foxhound, whatever you want to call it. Play action pass. This tight end right here, he's responsible for the Sam linebacker if he blitzes. If he doesn't blitz, he's going to escape out into the route as a check down. The back is responsible for the Mike. He's got to play action. If this Mike blitzes, that's who he's responsible for. So Mike comes, he's got to block him. If the Mike doesn't come, he'll check down over the ball. Just another outlet for the quarterback. Well, it just so happens both these guys blitz. They're going to lose this tight end and lose this back in pass pro. Stafford says, hey, my go route, it's not a great matchup, right? Number 2, he's got him covered up, plenty of space. We're not getting over the top of him. Okay, am I going to get through the progression from 1 to 2 to 3 is 2 open now. Safety dropping down on that side. 53 doing a good job of dropping into this window. Says, I'm just going to get through the progression. I'm going to get back to 3. Drills it into the backside here. Nakua, great job on that backside in. That's why Matt Stafford is the league MVP. That is the Rams 13 personnel package.